I really like cooperative games. Games that you can play with multiple people and everyone's trying to accomplish the same goals. I like versus games as well, but I think my favorite type of game is a game that brings everyone to the table and focuses their intentions on the same thing. And so I'm generally looking for new cooperative games, or maybe to expand cooperative games that we've gotten in the past that we really like playing. A new system that we just picked up is the Slay the Spire card game. And my son and I have had a chance to play one full run of it over the course of 2 days, and I really liked the interactions in the game. And so I want to take a quick moment and go over some of the cards that you can get in the game, like that you can add to your deck as you're playing, and then talk a little bit about how the game plays. So right over here, you're going to see the setup for the game. There's spots where these little minifigures can kind of go here on the map to show different characters kind of taking on different enemy lines. And as you're playing the game, you'll have, if you have 4 players, you'll have 4 different players essentially picking up their own enemies. Now, sometimes in a game, you have players who are fighting against an enemy, and they have to sort of deal with that enemy on their own. And other times you have games where other players can help out with that fight. Slay the Spire is like that. So if the Silent has a couple of good cards to play, the Silent can help out the Defect here and take out these enemies and do other sorts of things to interact cooperatively. Attacking is probably the simplest way you can cooperatively support each other. Let me show you a couple of the other more complex things you can do, or at least more interesting things you can do. So the Defect has a couple cards, and again, these are not rare cards. These are just some of the basic cards you can get to add to your deck as you're playing through the game. So Glacier, when you upgrade it, has the ability to give defense to any one of the players, not just the Defect. And then Leap has the ability to give defense to one of the players and then allow the Defect to switch positions, thereby trading enemies. Here we have a couple cards by the Watcher. There's Swivel, another card that allows the Watcher to give defense to a different player when the card is upgraded. And then Foreign Influence is a card that allows the Watcher to either do 3 damage to an enemy or play the last attack card that another player played. And so right there you have a setup for an interesting combination where, for example, the Defect could play a heavy hitting card like Meteor, or the Ironclad could play something like Cleave, and then the Watcher can follow it up by playing Foreign Influence and basically following up the attack by copying the attack. Here we have Combust, which allows the Ironclad to do a sweeping attack in any one of the lanes. And then Ghostly Armor, another card that allows the Ironclad to play defense on any player. Here's a couple cards by the Silent that are interesting. Predator allows you to do 3 damage to any enemy and then allows you to give card draw either to yourself or to another player, which, again, I find very, very fun. Setup allows the Silent to give 1 energy to another player, and it costs 0 to do. So, So right there's just some basic cards that you can get. Obviously, some of the more rare cards you're going to get as you play the game and add more unique cards to your deck are going to have some more interesting components. And you can obviously get more complicated things when you're adding rare or unique cards. If you're going to play something like Foreign Influence, you could play Foreign Influence after the Ironclad played, for example, like Reaper, and maybe got some healing done. So as far as the game is played, I like the way that when you're playing it, you're building your deck as you play, because it allows all the players at the table to interact or at least observe what other players are adding to their deck and thereby changing what they might add to their deck. So I think that makes for a very customized playthrough. And another thing that's very cooperative, like co-op friendly, is anytime you guys arrive at the shop or at a location where you could spend gold, any player can chip in to help other players buy things in the shops or wherever you could buy like new relics or spend gold. And I think that's also a very, very friendly mechanic in the cooperative sense. I mean, obviously you can homebrew that type of stuff, but a lot of these cooperative mechanics, it seems like the game makers, the developers, they figured out a really good way to allow Slay the Spire to be a cooperative experience. So our interactions and experience with the game so far have been utterly positive. We love the game. I made another video showing how quickly it sets up. The game takes about approximately 5 minutes to set up and get ready to play. And then since there is no real deck building to the game, you don't really have to worry about making a deck for it because you're always just going to be bringing your basic 10-card deck. Yeah, so this is just a look at a few of the cooperative mechanics in Slay the Spire. So it's not just attacking and defending. There are also other ways you can either bonus other players or interact with other players or copy other players' attacks. And that's not even looking at the complexity of the relics of the game. So if you're looking for a really good cooperative card game to play with your kids or your family, I think the Slay the Spire card game is an excellent choice. It is a little more expensive than some of the games like the Fantasy Flight games, the Marvel Champions, and the Arkham Horror. Those games relatively cost about $50 for their starter box, and then, you know, obviously the price goes upwards from there as you try to collect all the cards. This one is $115. It's a little bit hard to find right now, but I'll include a link down in the description where you can find it in case you're looking for a cooperative card game. It doesn't seem to be organized or arranged in the same way that the Fantasy Flight games is organized and arranged, where there's expansions or things to buy over time, but I guess we'll have to see how it goes, and maybe this company will do that later on. But I kind of like the games where you can just buy them and then you have everything because, you know, myself, I tend to be a sucker for picking up a game like Marvel Champions and then, oh, there's a new expansion. Oh, there's a new expansion. You know, like I end up making that mistake of just continuing to feed into it, you know, but that's some of because I used to buy like the card packs and stuff. So I'm off card packs, but anyways, this is just a look at some of the cooperative mechanics of the Slay the Spire game. I highly recommend it. That's it. God bless you. Have a great day. And if you have any great cooperative card games that you found that you like, that you would recommend, or board games, post them down in the comments. I'd love to take a look at other cooperative games. Okay. God bless you. Have a great day.